and shalom. Okay, right. So, what I want to do is I want to talk separately to three groups of people, four groups of people. There's four groups of people that I'm going to address. Now, all of these people are my people, the Negroes. But there's four compartments of Negroes that I want to address. Now, if you're a Caucasian, if you're an Arab, if you're a Caucasian, an Arab, Caucasian, Arab, Chinaman, Japanese man, if you're any one of these people, you can come aboard. Okay? If you're any one of these people, you can come aboard. But I want to talk to four compartments of people. Right? I want to talk to four compartments of people. Right? I want to talk to four compartments of people. All right. Right? I just wanted to test. I want to talk to four compartments of people. Okay? That are Negroes. All right? Four groups of Negroes. But if you're a Caucasian, you're welcomed. If you're Arab, you're welcomed. If you are a Chinaman, all the other nations are welcomed. But I mainly want to talk to the Negroes, and I want to separate you all into four groups. There's a reason for this. Okay? So, the first group that I want to separate is probably the most important group because I had a discrepancy with this group more than any other group. Many of you think that, first of all, Christians and Muslims are not the worst group. I want you all to understand that right now. Okay? That's personally my opinion, though. I believe that the truth circumcision is the worst group, personally, in my opinion. But in any event, the truth circumcision, Christians, Muslims, and completely non-religious people. I'm not going to say atheists, but some of you don't have a religion, you don't have a denomination. Like I don't have a religion, like I don't have a denomination. All I believe is the truth. That's it, right? All I believe is the Bible. I don't get into religion. I don't get into denominations. All of that is foolishness, like I've said before. Now, I don't want to make this message about religion, but I want specifically the four groups of people to listen very carefully because many of you are erring because of your beliefs. Okay? Now, I want to start off with the people that are in like my bracket. Okay? The people that are like in my bracket, which is like The people that are not into religion, but they believe the Bible like I believe the Bible, these are the people that I want to address first. So I first want to address the people like myself that are not Muslim, that are not Christian, they're not Catholic, right? You all just believe in the Torah, and not all of you believe in Christ. In fact, not all of you respect Christ. But you all I want to address first. That would include the camps. That would include the Old Testament only people. That would include specific people, right? Old Testament only, the camps, whatever the case. And a lot of YouTube teachers, a lot of Instagram teachers, a lot of teachers that would pretty much, all right, a lot of people that would pretty much fall under my category, right? You're the people that I want to address first. Now, I want to go to the Essene Gospel. Okay, it's a scroll that was not included with the original Canaan. Okay, it's a scroll that was not included with the original Canaan. Okay, a scroll that was not included with the original Canaan. And it goes by the name of the Essene Gospel of Peace, okay? Book 2, the 10 Commandments. All right, I think I may have gave the wrong information on my Instagram. I think I may have said something like the Book of Moses. But it actually goes by the name of the Essene Gospel of Peace, Book 2, the 10 Commandments. Okay? So I want you all to listen very carefully because I'm gonna read some excerpts, right? And these excerpts are a few excerpts down. They're not they're not at the top. Okay. Now I want you all to understand something. All right. One, you can hate on me at no cost. Once you start watching my message, it'll show that you're watching, but then it'll go away. And a lot of people, they come, I speak to my brother all the time, and yes, due to contrary belief, not all the time, but sometimes my wife will watch too. Not all the time, because she always claiming tired, right? But for the most part, sometimes she'll watch. I know my brother watch, his wife watches. You know what I'm saying? And I know many of you out there, you watch. And I've dealt with it on many occasions. I understand that I'm extremely shadow banned, more shadow banned than what anybody can ever imagine. Okay? That's because I'm a thoroughbred at what I do. You understand what I'm saying? Now, you can come and nobody knows you're watching. You understand that, right? You don't have to feel ashamed, and you don't have to say, "Ah, man, I like him, but I don't want to give him credit." The people that get the least of credit, or that get the least credit, are the thoroughest people, because it's people out there that are the majority. Somebody like me, the majority of the people would be too weak to give me credit because that's my shine. That's how I shine. You understand what I'm saying? Nothing can stop this ministry. Nothing can stop this ministry. All right? I just want you all to understand that. This ministry is a locomotive. You understand what I'm telling you all? It's a locomotive, and y'all know it. Okay? Now, I want to get to what I want to get to here. So remember, I'm speaking to 4 groups of people. I'm speaking to non-religious people. I don't want to use the word atheist because there's really no such thing as an atheist. And believe me, I got a lot of work coming, but I'm when I tell y'all this summer, I'm going to be busy. I'm talking about this summer, I'm going to be busy. I mean it. I mean it from the core. Because right before I get to 50, right before I touch 50, there are some things that I promised myself, some things that I promised my wife, and I will accomplish them. But they're not on the internet. You understand that, right? Okay. You all understand I don't live on the internet. All right? And I never will. Okay? But now, let me stop interrupting the message. So there's 4 types of people I want to talk to tonight. Non-religious people, Muslims, Christians, and the people like myself that don't have religion, they don't have denomination. Some of them are camps because you can even break them down into categories underneath the umbrella of truth, which would be camps, which would be people who are not in religion. You have them all across the internet. You have them on YouTube. They know that religion is foolishness, but yet they still, some of them are Old Testament only. Some of them don't believe in the Christ, right? And there are some of them that hold the Torah at a very, very high peak. There are a lot of you that hold the Torah at a very, very high peak. And I want you all to understand that's not very wise. We have to respect the Torah, but I want you all, I'm going to speak to you all first because many of you have made a grave mistake, and I want you all to listen very carefully. All right? So this is the Essene Gospel of Peace, Book 2, the 10 Commandments. You can pull it up online, and I want y'all to listen. What is this? The Essene Gospel of Peace, Book 2, the 10 Commandments. Now, I'm not starting at the top. Okay? You can find the scroll down and you can find it a little later, but it doesn't give an exact address. It's just a chapter. So I'm going to scroll down, and I'm going to start at the 7th day. The 7th day is the Sabbath. Okay? The 7th day is the Sabbath. Thou shalt remember it, keep it holy. The Sabbath is the day of the light of the law, thy God. In it thou shalt, In it that, I need y'all to understand, right? I just want to say one thing. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people like to come on the internet and regurgitate what my slanderers and my gossipers say. I need you all to understand something. I can't clock out till midnight, which means that I have to go to bed at least at 12. And then sometimes I can't fall asleep. So sometimes I end up not going to bed till 1, 2, sometimes even 3. And guess what? I got to wake up early to accommodate my family. Then on top of that, I got to do what work that I claim to be doing, whatever I claim to be doing. Then I got to put a little bit of time in for my movement. And I'm scrambling throughout the day with my family, with mother, aunt. And then I still got to worry about myself. I still got to do my ministry. Some of you never in your life think that I'm not coming on the internet for any reason. Very few of you have the structure that I have in my life that's constant and constant and constant. So when I get an opportunity to rest, I'm a rest. You understand what I'm saying? But this is the Essene Gospel of Peace. Okay? Book 2, the 10 Commandments. And I scrolled down a few verses. But I'm starting at the 7th day is the Sabbath. Thou shalt remember it, keep it holy. The Sabbath is the day of the light of the law, thy God. In it thou shalt not do any work, but search the light, the kingdom of thy God, and all things shall be given unto thee. For now ye that during 6 days shalt work with the angels, but the seventh day shalt thou dwell in the light of thy Lord, who is the holy law. Thou shalt not take the life from any living thing. Thou shalt not take the life from any living thing. Life comes only from God, who giveth it and taketh it away. Thou shalt not debase love. It is the sacred gift of thy heavenly Father. Thou shalt not trade thy soul, the priceless gift of the loving God, for the riches of the world, which are as seeds sown on stony ground, have no root in themselves, and so enduring but for a little while. Thou shalt not be a false witness of the law, to use it against thy brother. Only God knoweth the beginning and the ending of all things. For his eye is single, and he is the holy law. Thou shalt not covet thy neighbor's possessions. The law giveth unto thee much greater gifts, even the earth and the heavens. If thou keep the commandments of the Lord thy God, it says, if thou keepeth the commandments of the Lord thy God. And Moses heard the voice of the Lord, and sealed within him the covenant that was between the Lord and the children of light. So now, I need y'all to listen very carefully to what I'm saying to you all, okay? Because I'm talking to the first group of people, the group of people that cherish the Torah, the group of people that love the Torah so much. And I respect the Torah. I have to respect the Torah. We all have to respect the Torah. Christians, many of you Christians don't want to respect the Torah. Muslims respect the Torah. That I give the Muslims. The Muslims respect the Torah of Moses more than the Christians do. And the Christians want to claim the book. But I need you all to pay attention to what I'm about to tell you right here. There's a reason why I'm reading this. So this is when Christ handed Moses the 10 Commandments. We all know that that's what happened, right? But a lot of Muslims and a lot of Christians and a lot of people that are like myself, whom are so-called in the truth, a lot of you don't understand. I know the non-religious people don't have a clue, so I didn't mention them. But this is for all of you so-called religious people. I'm going to tell you all something that you really didn't know, and this is extremely important. Okay? It's extremely important for me to go on with this message. Now, I want you to listen carefully what it says here. It says here, and Moses heard the voice of the Lord and sealed within him the covenant that was between the Lord and the children of light. Now, I need y'all to understand how major that is, because many of you, if you're unskilled in the Bible, which a lot of Muslims are not skilled in the Bible, a lot of Christians are not skilled in the Bible, and there's a lot of people whom are like myself that don't know this. When the original commandments, that the true law that Christ gave to Moses, Moses took it and hid it in his bosom. It wasn't tablets. Now listen, Christ gave them tablets, but I want you to pay attention, and I'm gonna prove this with the Bible. Okay? If many of you think that this lost scroll is no good, I'm gonna prove it. I'm gonna prove that this lost scroll is true. You understand what I'm saying? Moses heard the voice of Yahuwah and sealed within him the covenant. See, the 10 commandments on the tablets, it is the covenant. But Moses was given 2 covenants. Actually, well, 2 covenants. Okay? 1 covenant he had to go and get again. But we're going to get to that. But Moses was handed 1 covenant, but 2 different ways. Let me rephrase that. Moses was given 1 covenant, but 2 separate ways. 1 covenant, the 1 covenant that he was given to him twice, 2 different ways. Now, I want y'all to pay attention, okay? It says, Moses heard the voice of Yahuwah and sealed within him the covenant that was between the Lord and the children of light. Now, the children of light did not come into effect until the New Testament. So many of you, they claim that you don't believe the New Testament. The children of light did not come into effect until the New Testament. You understand what I'm saying? So Moses hid within his bosom the covenant between Yahuwah and the children of light. So the children that were down beneath the mount that Moses was about to go to, guess what? They didn't even get the real covenant. If you want to know why a lot of people in the old, not all people, but why a lot of people in the Old Testament went to hell and are burning right now in hell, right now, they're burning in hell. Burning in hell. I'm not trying to condemn anybody. I'm telling the truth. The Apocrypha told you that. The Apocrypha told you that, right? In 2 Ezra chapter 7. 2 Ezra chapter 7 solidified that a lot of Negroes from the Old Testament are burning in hell. And we already know that a lot of people of the other nations are burning in hell. Yeah, you don't have to wait till the end of time to burn in hell. There's people already burning in hell, suffering right now. And sadly, I'm speaking to the Negroes. A lot of our ancestors from the Old Testament are burning in hell. You understand what I'm telling you all? Now, I'm serious what I'm saying to you all right? Now, listen, right? So Moses took the covenant and he hid it in his bosom. Now, this was not a physical covenant. That covenant wasn't physical, meaning that covenant, the covenant, was not on tables. It wasn't on tablets. Now, I know what you're saying. Those who know what I'm talking about. Those of you who are a little skilled, you saying, no, man. Yes, they are. Well, yeah, the covenant is the 10 commandments, but the covenant is not stone. You understand what I'm saying? The covenant is love. Negroes were supposed to love one another, and we're supposed to love our Creator. That's the covenant. The covenant isn't stone tablets. The covenant was written on stone tablets. Now, I need you to understand the difference because that's very important. So, after Moses, so this covenant was between Yahuwah and the children of light. Nobody in the Old Testament were the children of light. Now I want to move fast because I don't want to dwell on this because this is about food. So let me be swift, okay? And Moses turned and went down from the mount, and the 2 tables of the law were in his hand. Now, did y'all hear that? Did y'all hear that? I want to read that one more time so y'all can get what I'm saying because this is very important. I want to read it one more time and then I'm going to move on, okay? I'm going to read it fast. And Moses heard the voice. He heard the voice and sealed within him the covenant that was between the Lord and the children of light. So Moses had a covenant that he sealed within his bosom. Now, pay attention. And then Moses, after he heard the words, and he wrote down, where did he write the 10 Commandments down on? And Moses heard the voice of Yahuwah and sealed within him the covenant that was between. And Moses turned and went down from the mountain, and the 2 tables of the law were in his hand. So one covenant, the same covenant, but the covenant between Yahuwah and the children of light, it actually was kind of in a way 2 different covenants, because that covenant he sealed within his bosom. He sealed within his soul, meaning he took it and it was right here and it was in his soul. It was spiritual. It wasn't physical. But then he also had the 2 tablets of stone with the 10 commandments on it. But those 10 commandments were a little bit different because there were a second set of commandments that had to be made. Y'all don't believe me? All right, now, let's go to the Bible. We're going to go to the Bible to prove this, okay? We're going to go to the Bible to prove this, all right? Give me a minute. We're going to go to the Bible to prove this. Because I want y'all to understand that this is important. Okay? So let's go to Exodus chapter 32, 19. Let's go to Exodus chapter 32, 19. Exodus chapter 32, 19. Let's go to Exodus chapter 32, 19. Now, I want y'all to pay attention. This is the Bible. This is Exodus chapter 32, 19. Exodus chapter 32, 19. Now, I want y'all to listen. And it came to pass as soon as he came nigh unto the camp. So Moses was coming down from out of the mountain because that law scroll that I just read is the same occurrence that has taken place here in Exodus in the Bible. But they took that out of the Bible. There were a lot of books taken out of the Bible, and I want you to pay attention. It says, and it came to pass as soon as he came nigh into the camp, as he was coming down from the mountain and he's coming down to the camp where all these Negroes were, that he saw the calf and the dancing. So Moses, when he came down, he saw the Negroes worshiping and dancing to the golden calf. They didn't even wait till Moses got back. They said, they told Aaron, where's Moses? Make us gods. And Moses, he supposed to be not Moses, Aaron. Aaron was the priest. Aaron was Moses' brother. And all the Negroes told Aaron to make them a god. So Aaron being the dummy that he was, he listened to the people because he was scared of the people. And he told the people, give me all your gold, and made a golden calf. And by the time Moses came back down, Moses was watching these Negroes worship and dance around a false idol, a false idol, a golden calf. You Negroes, when it comes to false idols, y'all take it all the way. When it comes to false idols, that's your specialty. All of y'all. As it comes to Jesus and every other type of religion, right? So Moses come back down, and Moses see this, and it says, and Moses' anger waxed hot, and he cast the tables out of his hands and break them beneath the mount. So Moses, we know that there was a set of 10 commandments, right? But what y'all don't know, there was 2 set of 10 commandments. Because Moses, it says it right here. The first set, the physical set of the 10 commandments. When Moses came down, this is the Bible. This is not the Lost Scroll. The Lost Scroll just set it up for me to tell you all that Moses took the first set of tablets and broke them. It's right here. It's right here in the Bible, in Exodus 32:19. But let me move quickly, right? So now, Moses breaks the first set of the commandments. So I'm not going to go to all of those scriptures, but obviously, you all know that Moses had to go and get a second set of commandments. We know this, right? Because we know that the commandments is the covenant, not the actual stone tablets, but what was written on the stone tablets, because it's spiritual. You know what I'm saying? But now, be mindful that Moses knows the truth. Now, I want you all, let's go back to the Essene Gospel of Peace, because there's something else that y'all need to understand. This is taking place at the same time. Okay? So now, after Moses went down, after he put the covenant between Yahuwah and the children of light, the people whom are going to be believers in Christ, the children of light are the Christ believers. And even though Christ was in the Old Testament because he is the Most High, we didn't understand that. Our ancestors didn't understand that. Only a few of our ancestors knew that. David knew it. Isaiah knew it. The prophets knew it. Why? Because in Amos chapter 3, it tells you that he will shew himself and he will expose himself and tell his secrets to his prophets. So the prophets, maybe not all the prophets, but for the most part, the majority of the prophets knew who Yahuwah was in the Old Testament. They knew his identity. Maybe I think it was all of them, but that's not what this message is about. So we know that Moses took heed to the words and he put the spiritual covenant within his chest. And we know that he walked down the mountain with a physical set too. So by the time he got down to the bottom of the mountain, he was mad at what he saw because he saw the Negroes worshiping false idols. He took the stone tablets and he threw them on the floor because he was mad, because he saw you Negroes worshiping falsehood. Now, let's keep going, right? So after that, we're back to the Essene Gospel of Peace. Now after that, it says, and the tablets were the work of God, and the writing was the writing of God, graven upon tablets. And the people knew not what became of Moses. And they gathered themselves together. And it says this in Exodus. And they gathered themselves together and break off the earrings and gave them to Moses. Let me run through this. We all know that gave them to Aaron. Aaron took the earrings. He made a golden calf. And they ate and drank and they danced before the golden calf. Blah blah blah. And they abandoned themselves to corruption and evil before Yahuwah. And it came to pass, as soon as he came nigh into the camp, that he saw the calf and the dancing and the wickedness of the people. And Moses angered and waxed hot, and he cast the tablets out of his hands and break them beneath the mount. So it says it both in the same gospel of peace, and it says it in Exodus that he took the casket, he took the tablets, and he broke them on the ground because he saw what he saw. Now we're about to get to the meat and potatoes. Now, we're about to get into the meat and potatoes real fast, right? Because I know y'all want to hear about the food. Let's get to it, right? But hold on just a minute. Right? And it came to pass on the morrow that Moses said unto the people, you have sinned a great sin. You have denied thy creator. I will go up to the Lord and plead atonement for thy sin. And Moses returned to Yahuwah and said, Yahuwah, Lord, thou hast seen the desecration of the holy law, for thy children lost faith. Right? So the desecration of the holy law, the law is Yahuwah, but we don't want to make this confusing. And worship darkness, he said, and they worship darkness and made for themselves a golden calf. Lord, forgive them, for they are blind to the light. Blind to the light. And the Lord said unto Moses, behold, at the beginning of time was a covenant. At the beginning of time was a covenant, right? So now Christ is going to tell Moses, at the beginning of time was a covenant made. This is important. At the beginning of time was a covenant made between God and man, and the holy flame of the Creator did enter unto him, and he was made the Son of God. He's talking about Adam. He's saying when he brought Adam to life, the holy flame, that when he gave Adam life, that was a covenant. Okay? Christ is saying from the beginning, a covenant was made with man. When the holy flame entered into man and made him the son of God, Adam was considered the son of God. The first covenant was with Adam, which was life. Now, this is what he says. Let's keep going. And he says, and the creator and of the creator did enter into him, and he was made the son of God, and was given unto him his inheritance of the firstborn, and to make fruitful of the land his father, and keep it holy. And he who casteth out the creator from him doth spit upon his birthright, and no grievous sin do exist in the eyes of God. So if you cast out faith, if you cast out the creator, when you lose faith, you casteth out the holy flame. I'm warning y'all right now, all of you in religion, and I know you're not going to listen. Why? Because it says that this is a stiff-necked people. This is a stiff-necked, stubborn people, and you will not listen. But when you lose faith in Christ, when you diminish Christ, you are on your way to becoming reprobate, which means that the holy flame, you're casting out the covenant between you and life. God damn. Do y'all understand that? But listen, let's keep reading because we're about to get to the punchline, right? And the Lord spoke, saying, only to the children of light can keep the commandments of the law. Hear me, for I say this, the tablets which you broke, Moses, these shall never more be written in the words of men, as thou didst return them to the earth and fire. So shall they live invisible in the hearts of those who are able to follow their law. To thy people of little faith, to thy people of little faith, who did sin against the Creator, even whilst thou stood on holy ground before thy God, I will give another law. It shall be a stem law. Yeah, it shall bind them for they know not the kingdom of light. And Moses hid the invisible law. And Moses hid the invisible law. And Moses hid the invisible law. And Moses hid the invisible law within his breast and kept it for a sign to the children of light. And God gave unto Moses the written law for the people. And he went down unto them and spake to them with a heavy heart. This is even spoke about in the Apocrypha, even in one of the Ezra scrolls. When Christ approached Ezra in a burning bush, the same way he approached Moses. You can Google it. It speaks about this in the Apocrypha too. When Christ told Ezra that he gave Moses a spiritual law, and Moses did hide it in his breast. So we have two witnesses, the Apocrypha, and we have the scroll of Exodus, telling you all that Moses broke the first set of commandments, and he had to go back up to the mountain and get a second set of commandments, which were not the same, because the first set of commandments were spiritual, and they were for the children of light. But don't get me wrong, Christ knew that all of this was going to happen. Christ told the future. He knew Moses was going to break those tablets. See, there's a lot of you out there that don't have faith. And that's the reason why many of you keep eating from McDonald's and keep eating from Burger King and keep eating all of these foolish things without even caring, because you don't believe that you don't believe in Satan. Many of you don't believe in Satan. You understand what I'm saying? Y'all don't think that Satan is real. But now I'm done with that, because now you all know. Now you all have a very clear understanding, right? You all have an understanding now. You all have an understanding that there was a stem law, meaning a binding law that was given to our children, and it wasn't the true to our ancestors, and it wasn't the original covenant. Now that we know this, what was this law, this stem law, this binding law? It was the law of Moses. The law of Moses. Now, are we supposed to take heed to the law of Moses? Sure, we are. It's for our benefit. But the law of Moses is not the foundation of life. It's not the foundation of life. Listen to my words. It's not the foundation of life. Okay? But we know that the law of Moses is life, right? And we know that the commandments are life, right? Now, I want to go and I want to move on to Leviticus chapter 11. Now we're gonna talk about this food, okay? We're gonna go to Leviticus chapter 11, all right? Because I want many of you out there to understand something. And Leviticus 11, all right? Let's go to Leviticus 11. Now, I want to read the whole chapter. Maybe not the whole chapter, but I want y'all to pay attention. Now, I want to read. And Yahuwah spake, Leviticus chapter 11, I'm starting from the top. And Yahuwah spake unto Moses and to Aaron, saying, now this is the law of Moses, okay? There's a reason why I did all of that. So now we're going to read the law of Moses. So now I want to show you the fault, the fault, the F-A-U-L-T, the fault. Primarily right now, I'm speaking to a lot of people that are like myself in the truth. I want to show you the fault of the law of Moses, okay? Because it's faulted, okay? It's not that it's faulted. No, it's not faulted. But I want to show you its weakness. I want to show you the weakness of the law of Moses. Now, listen. And the Lord God spake unto Moses and to Aaron, saying unto them, speak unto the children of Israel, saying, these are the beasts, the animals, which ye shall eat among all the beasts that are on the earth. Okay, these are the beasts which ye shall eat among all the beasts that are on the earth. Pay attention. Whatsoever parteth the hoof, and is cloven footed, and cheweth the cud among the beasts, ye shall eat. Whoever has hoofs, whoever has hooves. Now, but not every animal that has hooves can you eat. Now he says, nevertheless, these shall ye not eat of them that chew the cud, or of them that divide the hoof, as the camel, because okay, so first, let's go to Deuteronomy chapter. So let's go back up here, right? These are the beasts which ye shall eat among the beasts that are on the field. Whatsoever parteth the hoof, and is cloven footed, and cheweth the cud among the beasts that ye shall eat. So let's dive into that before we move on to what you shall not eat. Let's dive into that. Let's go to Deuteronomy chapter 14, 4 through 5. Deuteronomy chapter 14, 4 through 5. Deuteronomy 14 is a more detailed version of Leviticus chapter 11. This is the dietary law that was given to us Negroes in the law of Moses. Now, I'm not going to necessarily read the scripture in Deuteronomy 14, but Deuteronomy 14 and 5, Deuteronomy 14, verses 4 through 5, it basically says this. Gives us a list of the animals that chew the cud and have cloven hooves and that are kosher, that or quote unquote kosher, legal to eat according to God. And these animals are oxen, sheep, goats, deer, gazelles, roebuck, wild goats, antelopes, ibex, and mountain sheep. Now, if y'all want to know what ibex is, I'm not even going to lie. I'm not even sure what it is. Some of this research you need to do for yourself, because that's the problem with you all now. That's why you all can't stop eating McDonald's. That's why you can't stop feeding your children McDonald's. It's foolishness at this point. And listen, you can be mad at me all you want to and continue to eat McDonald's and continue to feed your McDonald's to your kids. That's just stupid. You're not hurting me. If you want to keep being a dummy, and eating McDonald's and Burger King and I know Chick-fil-A is a hard one to shake. Maybe that's harder than a lot of them. You want to keep eating KFC? You want to keep eating Popeye? You want to keep eating Caesar's meat, right? Because we know that chicken, according to Leviticus, according to God's law, chicken is a kosher food, but not the chicken that are in these fast food places, right? It's an abomination. So this is the weakness of the law of Moses, because Satan said let me tell you what Satan said with the law about the law of Moses. Satan said, to hell with the law of Moses. To hell with it. That's what Satan said. I'm not saying it now. I know better. But that's what Satan said. Satan said, to hell with the law of Moses. To hell with what God said was legal to eat. I'm going to take all the legal food and shuck and jive with the legal food. Not only am I going to take the cows and not only am I going to take the cattle and the chicken and all of these animals that are supposed to be kosher, I'm going to take them. I'm also going to take the green foods and the tomatoes and the lettuce They want to start putting vaccines in the tomatoes and the lettuce. And guess what? They don't have to tell us. See, all y'all think y'all got everything all figured out. A lot of you health buffs out there. Now, I'm not a health buff, right? But I'm conscious. I'm aware of what is going on, right? But many of you out there, you claim to be all these super health buffs, and you think you have the answer for this. You don't have an answer to shit because you're only a man. At the end of the day, they're going to start trampling with the crops. They're already trampling with the crops. They're trying to find a way to put a so-called vaccines in lettuce and tomatoes, right? In the lettuce and tomato. And guess what? Guess what you gonna do about it? Not a goddamn thing. You can't do nothing about it. And guess who the government doesn't have to tell that they're doing this? Our dumbasses. They don't got to tell us nothing. They're not going to tell us nothing. But I'm going to tell you what else that they don't tell us. Right? I'm going to show you what else they don't tell us. But before I do that, so those are those animals that have hoofs and cheweth the cud. Okay? Now, so you only really supposed to eat grass. If it don't eat grass, you're not supposed to eat it. You understand what I'm saying? But wait a minute now, because I don't want to contradict myself, because the Most High didn't contradict himself. Okay? I'm going to go to 2 scriptures for you in a minute, but hold on. But then he says, nevertheless, these shall ye not eat of them that cheweth the cud. So there's animals that eat grass that you're not supposed to eat. Okay? What animals that eat grass that you're not supposed to eat? All right? Let's go to Deuteronomy chapter 14. It says it here, but Deuteronomy, I want to give detail. So it says, nevertheless, these ye shall not eat of them that cheweth the cud, or of them that divide the cloven hoof, as the camel. So camel is not a meat eater, but you can't eat the camel. The camel is not legal for you to eat. And the hare, the rabbit, is not legal for you to eat. And the coney, for they chew the cud, but divide not the hoof. Therefore, they are unclean unto you. Now, let's go and see what he says. And then he's going to talk about okay? All right, so we're in Deuteronomy chapter 14, and let's go to verse 8. And he says, and the swine, because it divideth the hoof, yet cheweth not the cud, it is unclean unto you. Ye shall not eat of their flesh, nor touch their dead carcasses. Christians, and non-religious people. I know y'all don't care, right? It says you don't care. You're going to eat your bacon, and you're going to eat your hog mog, and you're going to eat your ham. And guess what? Tonight, I'm not here to judge you. I don't care what nobody say. I don't care what a camp say. I don't care what an Old Testament only Bible person say. I don't care what nobody say. Should you eat the swine? Hell no. Am I judging you for eating the swine? No. No. I'm not judging you for eating the swine. Is it in your best interest to eat pigs? Is it in your best interest to eat an animal that can't even sweat? That's nasty. Is it in your best interest? Of course it's not. Am I here to judge you? Or am I here to judge those of you who do? No, I'm not. And I'm going to tell you why in a minute. Okay? Now, if you see a dead, now, that's my point. And I'm about to get to that in a minute. But before I do that, I want to finish something up. I want to finish something off. Okay? So we know that the swine is off limits, right? Muslims know that, right? A lot of Christians know that. A lot of Christians know that. Even some of you out there who are non-religious, you know that the pig is a nasty man. You know not to touch him. You know that's stupid. It's very stupid to eat the pig. You know that, right? Many of you know that, right? We don't want to make this complicated tonight, right? You know you a dummy if you eating pig, right? I know we was raised on chitterlings, and I know I used to watch my grandma with that big old pig foot up on her table. Man, my grandma used to always try to offer me, nah, grandma, I'm okay. I used to just go and make me some peanut butter and jelly, or make me some butter toast, or make me some butter bread. Because I didn't grow up necessarily poor, but I mean, I grew up in the hood. You know what I'm saying? So, it was times where we had to make do. You know what I'm saying? But I was not eating no chitterlings, not even when I was a young boy. I knew better. And I was raised, my grandma, my aunt that's in there right now, that's bedridden, hog mob, pig foot, all of this stuff, no awareness of her diet. See, you generation of folk today, y'all may not eat the hog mog and the pig foot, but guess what? The hog mog and the pig foot, and the chitterlings, if cleaned properly, if cleaned properly, if cleaned properly, is not even as dangerous as the Caesar's meat today at McDonald's and Burger King and KFC and Popeyes and Chick-fil-A, even properly cleaned, properly cleaned, hog mog and pig is not as bad as Caesar's meat. Now, I'm not condoning no goddamn swine. Don't y'all take my words and twist them, because I'm not condoning swine. I'm trying to tell y'all, I'm trying to force to y'all how dangerous Caesar's meat is. This is a warning to y'all. This is a warning to y'all. Okay? Now listen. Now listen. It says here, these shall ye. Now, Muslims, I want y'all to listen, Muslims, because y'all always talking about Moses. Y'all Muslims, y'all love y'all some damn Moses, right? But y'all don't listen to Moses, right? Muslims, if you want to mention Moses, if you want to talk about Moses, listen to Moses so you don't be deemed a hypocrite. You understand what I'm telling y'all? I'm sorry, Ani. Listen to Moses. Listen to him. Don't just talk about him. Listen to him. Now, what does Moses say? The mighty Musha. What does the mighty Musha say, Muslims? These ye shall eat of all that are in the waters, all that have fins and scales shall you eat, Muslims. The only thing that you're supposed to eat in the waters are the things that has fins and scales. Fins and scales. Now, am I judging you Muslims that eat abominations? No, I'm not here to judge tonight. Right? Why? Because Moses, the law of Moses, is a stem law. It's a binding law, and it had a weakness. And its weakness was Satan. And I'm about to get to that point in just a minute. But let me finish, right? Let me finish. So, Muslims, I need you to listen very carefully. The only thing you're supposed to eat in the waters is those things that have fins and scales. Fins and scales. Now, it says, and whatsoever hath not fins and scales, Muslims, ye may not eat. It is unclean to you. Of all the clean birds ye shall eat, but these are they which ye shall not eat: the eagle, the you know what? I want to go to the other one for this. All right, listen. I don't want to go through all of that because I want to hurry up and get out of here. Right? I got a few more things that I want to share with y'all, and then I'm out of here. So we had an hour. Okay. So Muslims, listen. Just like I'm not judging the Christians and you non-religious people for eating pork. Now, I need y'all to understand something. I respect Moses and I respect the law of Moses. If I didn't, I wouldn't be a man of the Bible. So I have to respect Moses and I got to respect everything that he says. But I want you to understand the weakness of this law, okay? And we're going to get to that in just a minute. So we need to understand that Christians, I'm not judging you for eating pork, non-religious people. I know that crispy pork bacon early in the morning on an egg and cheese is hitting. I know it's hitting because I still have urges, but I reject it. But I love pork bacon tastes the best. We all know that. Pork. Some people say beef bacon, but I disagree. I think pork bacon tastes better than beef. I think that's the best tasting pork, best tasting bacon, right? But I don't eat it. Why? Because I know better, right? But now, am I judging anybody? Not tonight, I'm not. Am I judging you Muslims for eating crabs and shrimps and lobsters and mussels and clams and oysters and catfish? Am I judging you Muslims for eating spiders of the sea, roaches of the sea, and abominations of the water? Nope. Nope. I love you all. My Negro Muslims and sisters, I love y'all. My Christian brothers and sisters, I love y'all. If I got any Catholic brothers and sisters out there, I love y'all too. I'm not judging y'all tonight. But all I'm saying, Christians, if you are a real Christian, quote unquote, you can't just take what Moses says and throw it in the trash. Muslims, you know that you have to listen to Moses. Y'all know y'all gotta listen to Moses, right? This is why I don't really associate with a lot of people because everybody claims that they're the real this and they're the real that. Real Muslims don't eat shrimp and crab and lobster. No, why? Because they know that they have to listen to Moses. Real Christians don't eat swine. Real Christians don't eat pig. You're not going to see a big ass pig on the table of a real Christian. Why? Because they know that the pig is an abomination. Right? But now, let me keep moving, right? Let me keep going, right? Because I want y'all to understand something very, very important. Now, if you want to read the rest of Leviticus 11, or you want to read the rest of Deuteronomy chapter 14, that's what you all should do. Do your own footwork, read the Bible for yourself. All right? But now, let's move on, right? We're not going to be all night tonight. Let's move on. I want y'all to listen to something that the Food and Drug Administration said. I'm done with the scriptures for tonight. Now I'm just going to give you all some literature, right? I want y'all to listen to what the Food and the Drug Administration said. Despite the Food and Drug Administration approval, despite the FDA approval, in principle of meat from cloned cattle, pigs, and goats, in practice, clones are not expected to enter the food supply, the FDA said. They are rare and expensive, and the U.S. Agriculture Department estimates that most of about 600 cloned animals in the United States are used for breeding. That's a lie. That's a lie. See, I'm going to read it again, and I want you all to use your sense. I'm trying to tell y'all right now, they think we're stupid. They know that a lot of you Negroes out there is dumb. And a lot of you white folks out there is dumb. And a lot of you Arabs out there is dumb. China man, dumb. Japanese man, dumb. Mankind. They know a lot of mankind is dumb. Because right there, what they just tried to do is they tried to use psychology on me. You don't get where I'm coming from? Let me show y'all. Because I want to teach, especially a lot of my brothers and sisters. I want to teach y'all how to think for yourselves. Now, it says, despite the FDA approval and principle of meat from cloned cattle, pigs, and goats, in practice, clones are not expected to enter the food supply. They're trying to use psychology on us. Cloning is everywhere. Cloning is all over the food supply. Cloning is all over the food supply. Now, cloning is the least dangerous thing. But I want to show you how they tried to use psychology on me, right? Because they say that clones are not expected to enter the food supply, the FDA said. Why? Because they are rare and expensive. See the psychology? And they know this psychology works best with niggas. That's why us niggas is always eating lobster, is always eating lobster legs, Dungeness, and because it's a little pricey. If you eat lobster legs, if you eat the lobster tail, girl, you eating good. Let me get some lobster tail. I'm eating good. I got the lobster tail. I'm eating good with that lobster tail. Yeah, girl. Let's go. To tell that nigga to buy you some lobster tail. Yeah, girl. You eating good. Tell him to buy you some lobster. You are a foolish woman. The same way you think that lobster tail is eating good is the same way that they advertise Louis Vuitton, the same way that they advertise Gucci, the same way that they advertise Prada and Balenciaga. They just put a big price tag on it. And you Negroes, whatever got a price tag on it or whatever is popular, you take it and run with it. You can't think for yourself. Not at all. Many of you Negroes can't think for yourself at all. I'm sorry, Ani, put a price tag on something, right? Put a price tag on something, and y'all just go ballistic. Gotta have it. That's how lobster tail and the crab legs and all of this stuff became such an exquisite meal and an abomination. You got giant sea spiders and shrimps, sea roaches, and crabs. I don't know what they are, but they're abominations too. Moses specifically gave us all a blueprint. Fins, and scales, fins and scales, trout, flounder, whiting, salmon, trout, flounder, whiting, salmon, bass, cod, not catfish, because catfish is an abomination. I don't think catfish has scales, does it? It's nasty. Catfish are bottom feeders. You want to eat the fish that float to the top. You don't want to eat the fish that dive down to the bottom to eat was dead. That's all the crabs and the lobster. That's all they do. The clams shit in each other. Oysters shit in one another. Clams, oysters. What's the other one? Clams, oysters, mussels, shellfish. Shellfish is an abomination. Moses said, fins and scales, fins and scales, fins and scales, fins and scales, fins and scales. That's what he said. I know y'all don't want to listen. I know y'all don't want to listen. Now, right? But this is my point. Now, everything is cloned. They're going to sit up here and lie and say that cloned cattle, and you think we got this many cows? Do you know how many fat ass Americans eat hamburgers and cheesesteaks on a daily basis? And they shutting down the farms. They're not even allowing the farmers to farm. Why? Because Satan got his clutches around the farmers' necks, giving the farmers offers that they can't refuse. Satan don't want livestock, healthy livestock, eating and chewing the cud, eating and chewing the plants and the grass so that they can be healthy. No. Satan wants abominable calves, abominable chickens, abominable turkeys, abominable quails, abominable roebucks. He wants abominable animals. They may be on Moses' list as good food, but Satan has turned them into abominations. And now every time we eat them, we get sicker and sicker and sicker and sicker and sicker, and cancer is at an all-time high. All-time high. Both bowel cancer and prostate cancer are rocking a lot of people here in America. And guess what? It kills me because over there in China, right, they don't get sick as nearly. Nowhere. I don't have numbers. If you want numbers, go find them yourself. Them people over there in China don't get nowhere near as sick as Americans. And they eat cats, rats, and dogs. None of those animals are on Moses' list. None of them. None of them are on or in Leviticus 11 or are in Deuteronomy chapter 14 as kosher. Not a cat, not a rat, not a dog, not a snake, not a maggot. Research it. They got these big maggots. 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 Let me say it again. Maggots. People take these maggots and eat them as delicacies in other countries. They eat these maggots every day. Every day. Every day. Every day they eat these maggots. Guess what? These people are healthier than you and me. No, I'm not condoning eating maggots. No, no, no. Don't misconstrue my words. I'm trying to make a point. I'm not condoning eating cats and rats and dogs, specifically rats and dogs. None of that is on Moses's to-go list. But there's a reason why I'm saying this. Many of you who watched the last message, you understand where I'm going with this. But before I go there, I want to read something else to you. So you see how they tried to use psychology on me? See, you got to know how to take the white man's words and understand the psychology, because the white man, he thinks he's smarter than all us niggas, right? And guess what? He is. Because many of you, everything the white man say, shucks, you just take it and you run with it. He said he's going to sit here and tell you that, listen to how he put it. Listen to how he wrote it. Let me read it again so you can catch the trick. The FDA approval and principle meet for cloned cattle, pigs, and goats in practice. Clones are not expected to enter the food supply. The FDA said they are rare and expensive. So why would a clone be rare and expensive? How is a clone rare? Did you fall for that? See, you understand where I'm going with this? I need you Negroes to think. They're going to sit up here and try to use psychology on us and say that clones are rare and expensive. That's the same way that you state they sold lobster tail to many of you dummies. And that's the same way they sell Louis and like I said, I'm not here to judge tonight because I like wearing me a polo shirt. I like wearing me a polo jacket. I like some of Polo's items, right? And polo can be a little pricey. I'm not saying we got to be a bum. Some of you out there, if you can afford the Louis, that's not my point. I'm not judging that. I'm not judging you on that. The point that I'm making is the same way that they sold that to you all is how they're trying to tell you. So they're trying to say that, and this was 2018. So this is 5 years ago. So they're trying to tell you that, well, clones are too rare and expensive. And the U.S. Agricultural Department estimates that most of about 600 cloned animals in the United States are used for breeding. No. They got laboratories. And I don't know how many animals are used for breeding, but what I'm trying to say here is everything that KFC, all KFC's chicken is cloned. All of it. All Popeye's chicken is cloned. Where do they get all that chicken from? Y'all want to tell me? Where do Popeyes and KFC get all that chicken? You know how many of you Negroes eat Popeyes on a daily basis? Y'all know how much Popeyes chicken y'all eat? Where do they get all that chicken from? They not growing all of those chickens. They not farming all of those animals. Right? But listen, we already knew that, right? The cloning is the least of our worries, right? I don't even mess with chicken at all no more. Why? Because chicken is the meat that they're taking and they're doing all of these tests and doing this and doing that with. And they just taking chicken. And I know ain't none of y'all gonna listen to me on this one. And I'm not mad at y'all. Y'all probably don't even believe me when I say I don't eat chicken. Don't let my slanderers tell y'all I'm going to fast food places. Stop. Everything that I try to, they always try to discredit me and make me look like I'm doing the opposite of what I'm telling y'all. My slanders try to make me look like I'm doing the opposite of what like I'm not practicing what I'm preaching, right? But I ain't here to argue about that tonight. All I'm saying is, where is all that chicken coming from? And chicken is the main thing now. They doing all types of stuff with chicken because everybody eats chicken. Chicken is the most consumed animal in the world. Don't you understand that? Now, I want to read I want y'all to listen to their tricks. Now, this is Chick-fil-A, right? Chick-fil-A sources 100% real, whole, boneless breast of chicken that has never been ground or separated and that contains no fillers or added steroids or hormones. Let me ask you a question. I'm not even going to really dissect that, but do y'all believe that? Do y'all believe that? You know how much chicken Chick-fil-A sell, man? Where are they getting all these chickens from? They don't run out. Chick-fil-A get billions of customers every day. Popeyes gets hundreds of millions of customers every day. KFC get billions of customers every day. Where's all this chicken? You think that they farming all of these animals? A clone is an abomination. You know that, right? A clone is an abomination. Now, but cloning is not as dangerous as all the other things that they're doing with these meats, right? So if y'all want to believe that Chick-fil-A is 100% real breast of chicken that has never been, that contains no fillers or added steroids, if y'all want to believe that, then gee golly, you go ahead and you believe it, right? You believe it. Let's go to McDonald's, right? McDonald's meat is not made in the laboratory. According to the Snopes.com, their meat is 100% beef with no fillers or no preservatives. October 17, 2008. So do y'all believe, because see, I just want to make sense of all of this. Do you all believe that McDonald's meat is 100% beef? Do you believe that? Do you honestly within your heart believe that? When you seen a 10-year-old McDonald's hamburger and French fries, the mold didn't even eat it. 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 Can I go two more times with that? The mold didn't even eat it. Not even the mold ate the hamburger, nor the French fries. We all know that mold eats real meat. We know that. We know that mold eats real bread, and we know that mold eats real potatoes. Now, I'm not saying that there's no authenticity within these products, but there's definitely some dangerous chemicals that has been added to these products. Over there in California, them Negroes got to wear hazmat suits. Hazmat suits. Not in California, I'm sorry. In other countries, they're wearing hazmat suits when they deliver the McDonald's ingredients. Over there in California, they made them put up warnings that you can catch cancer and get and get physically sick from just handling the McDonald's ingredient, just handling them, transferring them from here to there. And you all keep feeding that shit to your kids. When will you wake up? Do many of you hate the messenger so bad that knowing that this information is vital to your health, you're going to ignore me just because you hate me? Whoever does that, you a stupid person. If you ignore me just because you hate me, you dumb as shit. Yeah, if you ignore me just because you hate me, you're a very foolish individual. Keep messing around with the Mickey D's. Keep feeding it to your children. This is a warning. So warning. That lady in the other room right there used to eat McDonald's every day. How can you do that? Do you know what would happen? What would happen to you if you ate McDonald's for 30 days straight? You would probably die the death. Try it. Y'all don't believe me? Give it to your kids. That's why you see a lot. That's why America is the most obese country. I want to read a few more things. We're almost out of here. We're almost out of here. I want to read. Another thing I want to read. I'm trying to get to it. Where is it? Where is it? Okay, listen to this. Listen to this. Harax. Harax is a person. I don't know who Harax is, but I bet you he's a very wicked man. His name is spelled H-A-R-A-C-Z. H-A-R-A-C-Z. Harax. Go and research him. Do some homework for yourself, right? But whoever this guy is, he's a person with some type of influence. Let me tell you what he said. Harax stated, it's highly unlikely that McDonald's will be selling artificial meat products anytime soon, primarily due to the cost of such products. There it is again. Do you hear the psychology? Because this is mainly aimed toward you Negroes. Why? Because you Negroes, anything that's expensive, you love it. Us black people, we love expensive shit, don't we? Listen to the psychology. Listen to what he says to fool a lot of you very foolish Negroes out there. Listen to the way that the white man words things, because he uses psychology a lot to trick and trap the minds of Negroes. So listen, because he wants you to understand that artificial meat products are expensive. Let's say it again. Let's read what he says again. Harax stated it's highly unlikely that McDonald's will be selling artificial meat products anytime soon, primarily due to the cost of such products. Consider that lab-grown meat can sometimes cost approximately $17 per pound, while the 2023 average cost of beef per pound is $4.92. So they're trying to make you sound like lab-grown meat, artificial meat, is higher than ordinary meat, which means it's better than ordinary meat. It's an abomination, and it's going to kill you, right? But they're trying to sell it because white folks don't go for that. Not all, some white folks do. Some of them do. You got some dumbass white folks out there that constantly eat McDonald's over and up, feed their kids McDonald's, keep feeding it. There's a matter of fact, there's a lot of dumb white people out there. Y'all, America, y'all just can't put down McDonald's, can y'all? Y'all can't do it, can you? Love you some McDonald's. All of America, right? Right? Because I want to take that back. I want to apologize to my people for a minute, because there's a lot of white dummies out there that eat McDonald's, because there's a lot of intelligent Negroes out there that know better not to mess with me. So let me give my apology, because it go both ways, because there's a lot of smart Negroes out there that know better, right? My brother is one of them. He keeps trying to tell his old lady, stay away from them places, right? My brother don't mess around with them McDonald's and Burger King and all of that. He don't mess around with that. I know that Big Mac is good. That Big Mac is good. I know that Chick-fil-A sandwich, them chicken nuggets from Chick-fil-A is good. The chicken nuggets from McDonald's, that's not real chicken, by the way. Y'all know that, right? McDonald's chicken nuggets is not even real chicken at all. I don't know what it is. It's processed. And those chicken nuggets are delicious, aren't they? Oh, yeah, of course they are. McDonald's chicken nuggets, man, are finger licking good, man. I don't care what nobody say. The KFC, the spicy. Sometimes I used to, before I stopped all them places, I used to say, damn, I got a taste for some KFC spicy, man. You know what I'm saying? Because to me, I think KFC tastes better. A lot of people say it's Popeye, but I'm old school, man. I like that KFC spicy, man. That thing was off the hook, man. But guess what, man? I saw a container smash a bunch of KFC chicken, and only thing that came out from the hose was liquid. I didn't see no chicken come out, just liquid, nasty liquid. KFC is another wicked MFer. KFC is bad news brown. I'm telling y'all. I know you don't want to listen to me. I know you don't want to hear me, right? So see how they word things. Now, I want to go to two scriptures, and then I'm out of here. I want to first go to Genesis chapter 129. Genesis chapter 129. Genesis chapter 129. These two verses, and I'll see y'all later. Genesis chapter 129. Genesis chapter 129. And God said, behold, I have given you every herb bearing seed, which is upon the face of the earth, and every tree, in which is the fruit of a tree yielding seed. To you it shall be for meat. So in the beginning with Adam and Eve, he gave us, in the beginning with Adam and Eve, he gave us nothing but fruits and veggies to eat. And it was supposed to be meat for us. Now listen, I'm not sitting here, y'all know I'm not a vegetarian. I'm not going to act like I'm a vegetarian, okay? I never said I was a vegetarian, all right? I'm not even a perfect eater, but I'm a very cautious eater. I'm very cautious, and I know to stay away from Caesar's meat. You understand what I'm saying? I know a way to stay away from all Caesar's meat, man. That's one thing I'm going to do, for sure. Now, I'm not saying you can't go somewhere kosher and get you some nice kosher meat. Like tomorrow, I may go to 42nd Street, to the Arabs on 42nd Street, and get me a pan of lamb and some bread with it. I just might, man. I just might. You know what I mean? I've been doing good, how I've been eating lately. I might just go do that and treat myself. But I know the meat is kosher. I know the meat is clean. I know the meat is good. I watch them bring the lambs in, and I know that they take the lambs and within 3 days and they slaughter the lambs. I know this for a fact. And that's one thing that I appreciate with some Arabs, that they do that. You understand what I'm saying? So, but listen, let me tell you something. You got to understand, food consumption is crazy because people eat. People got to eat every day. Food consumption is crazy. Satan said, instead of just letting a lot of people farm and making farmers the blessings of this world, instead of doing that, Satan said, nope, I'm going to force the farmers out of business. To hell with the livestock and to hell with Moses' law. I'm going to feed you abominations, right? And listen, right? And it says here, right? So we know that originally from the beginning, it was fruits and vegetables. Now let's go to Genesis. Let's go to Genesis chapter 9 and verse 3. Genesis chapter 9 and verse 3. Later on, after the flood, then Christ is going to tell Noah this. He told Adam one thing, and then he tells Noah this. Every moving thing that liveth shall be meat for you. So every single thing that liveth. This is why I'm not judging Christians for eating pork. This is why I'm not judging Muslims for eating crabs and lobsters and other abominations. This is why I'm not judging the Chinaman for eating cats, rats, and dogs. This is why I'm not judging the Korean man, not the Korean man. I forgot what man that is. He over there eating maggots, right? This is why in there's going to come a time. There's going to come a time where food is going to be very, very scarce. We're going into some very wicked times. A storm is coming. And as these things continue throughout over the course of the next 30 years, between now and 2050, right? We need to understand that you may be, and you as a man, you may have your family, and you may be in a bit of a pickle one day where you and your family are sitting there starving, and all you have to eat is that alligator. That alligator that you see walking over there, right, as a man. Are you going to let your family starve because you saying alligator is not food? Oh, an alligator is food. Did Moses approve of the alligator? No, Moses didn't. But Christ, before the Torah, before Moses, the man that created Moses, a greater than Moses is here. A greater than Moses said that every moving thing that liveth upon this planet shall be for food for you. If there's ever come a time where you get into a situation where you and your family have to survive, not being a cannibal now. A cannibal is going to send you to hell because you're eating human blood. And if you eat human blood or you kill a human being, that type of soul taking that, sending a human soul to Yah or sending a human soul to Sheol is hellfire. Okay, if they're innocent, it's hellfire. Okay, if there are two starving people in a padded room, right? They're supposed to starve to death. They're supposed to starve together because that's the law of Yah. Now, I know a lot of people were saying, no, I'm not going to starve. It's him or me. But after you eat the person, then what? If you're never going to get out of that room, you're in that room for life. After you eat the person, then what? And starvation is a very painful death. I understand this. But this message was tonight was to let you all know I'm adamant about this. This is truly from the heart, man. I don't compete with nobody, man. I don't worry about nobody else. This ministry is for the benefit of the people. And if you were a Caucasian or an Arab or a Chinaman and you've joined me tonight, welcome. I hope that you take heed too. Stop eating from McDonald's. Stop eating from cake. Leave Caesar's meat alone. I'm warning y'all. Okay? And I'm telling y'all, many of you out there are stubborn, but I'm warning y'all. Leave Caesar's meat alone. If you don't stop, you're going to die to death. I'm warning you.